we are going to graph this linear equation right here, and we're going to complete the table. You see here on the left, and the table is going to give us 3 ordered pairs, and then we can use those to graph them on the coordinate plane to the right. So let's use the first number that they give us. They give us a 0. Notice they give us a 0 for y, and once we plug in a 0 for y, we will find what the corresponding x is, and we'll have our first ordered pair. So from the equation they give us, x minus y equals 7. Okay, notice that I always use parentheses before I plug in. And for the y, I'm going to plug in a 0, because that's what they gave us. So we have x minus 0 is just x equals 7. So here is our first point, 7, 0. We go back to the original equation, and this time we're going to plug in, but we're going to plug in a 3 for x. So I will rewrite it, and I will say x minus y equals 7. Leave a blank. Instead of x, I'm going to put in the number 3. So this one's a little, it has a few more steps. Okay, remember that you want to get your grumpy y all by herself. Let me make this darker here. So to get this grumpy y all by herself, I need to get rid of the 3. I am going to subtract 3 from both sides of the equal sign. So now on the left, my y is one step closer to being by herself. Negative y equals 4. Make sure to drop down that negative. All right, TikTok, hashtag Twitter, whatever helps you remember it. And now to get the y by itself, I need to divide out this negative. Think of this as a coefficient of -1. I need to divide both sides by -1. So divide the left by -1, divide the right by -1. On the left side, a negative over a negative will give me a positive. So I have positive y equals 4 over -1 is -4. So y is -4. When x is 3, y is -4. And now I have my second ordered pair. So I could graph the line right now if I wanted to, but they're asking for a third point, and that's also going to be my test point to make sure that I'm right. So for the last point down here, they want me to plug in a -1. And do they want me to plug it in for the x or for the y? It's in the y column, so I'm going to plug -1 in for y. So I will write down my original equation. Let me grab it here, and I'll put it over here. I'm going to plug in for y, so x minus y equals 7. Okay, and this is where a lot of people can make mistakes. The number I'm plugging in is a -1. So if you don't use the parentheses, a lot of students will forget that there's 2 negatives, right? One of the negatives was in the equation, and the other negative comes with the 1. So x minus a -1 is x plus 1 equals 7. Subtract 1 from both sides, and x equals 6. All right, and here is my third point, 6, -1. So let's go graph it. We'll come over here to the graph. I can use any 2 of these. On most software only lets you put in 2 points, and I'm going to use the third point to check. So we'll make a bright purple line. I'm going to find 7, 0, so that's 7 to the right, 0 up or down. And then I will use 3, -4. So that's 3 to the right and 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be right there. Okay, now I'm ready to draw my line. And I can do better than that. There we go. All right, so here's my line. Now, this last point here, 6, -1, that's going to be my test point. All right, so I go and look at the graph. If that graph runs through 6, -1, I feel pretty good that I did the right thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right, 1 down, boom, right there, right on that line.